evening and welcome to Friday's Night Shift, which starts with music, chat and debate in Wail On.
American sex expert Betty Dodson said, after 20 years of running sexuality seminars for women, I'm convinced that masturbation is the ongoing love affair that each of us have with ourselves throughout our life. Tonight, Wail On takes a voyage through that interesting and yet undiscovered world of beating the bishop. Thank you. Now, tonight, the audience has been hand-picked tonight, very, very special people, because this, of course, is a subject that it is very difficult to talk about. Masturbation is a subject that we shy away from. People don't think any of us do it, but there are a lot of wives' tales connected with it. For instance, it doesn't, as a lot of people think, make you go blind. It isn't, or shouldn't, get you into trouble with God. And one of the silliest wives' tales, I think, connected with masturbation is that you can end up with hairy palms. So, masturbation's not a nice word. There are various other words we could use for it, but I thought solo sex would be a good way of looking at it. This hand-picked audience here are all big... Well, they take part in it quite regularly. And we'll find out more a little later. Please, will you come over here? Welcome the very lovely Daniela, who is here tonight and standing in for Cookie, who's away on holiday for a few weeks, but she will be back. And we would think that as we're doing a programme on masturbation tonight, we thought we'd have to be fairly careful about the area of the country that we dedicated this programme to. But seeing that masturbation is something that we all do, then I think we will dedicate tonight's programme to the entire British Isles. Everybody that lives in these islands here and participates in beating the bishop. There we are. All the way around here, it's done in Ireland as well, I'm told. And right up here on the Isle of Lewis, they do it too. The reason I thought we should talk about this was a programme a few weeks ago. I had the pleasure of talking to Dr. Ruth, and she said, well, just look at this. This is what she said.
For my way of thinking, I don't believe for very young people to engage in sex. I believe they should masturbate. Your audience should be at home,
masturbating
in the privacy of their bedroom or wherever they are to masturbate successfully.
Hands up if you do masturbate. Hands
Everybody
up.
Does.
I'm interested. Hands up.
Can you see your picture?
Can't put my hand up.
You see that?
Yeah.
Now,
yes.
a young person...
Quiet. Pay attention. All right, thank you very much. Now, the audience here, you can't see behind the camera. Can we see if they've all got their hands up here tonight? And, sorry, Bishop, obviously not really amusing you very much indeed. Now, before we get any further, let's pay the rent. Let's do the competition. Oh, by the way, did you know that the speed of ejaculation is 28 miles per hour? That's a little... No, seriously, that's a fact. I learned that one from Dr. Desmond Morris. Now, Samantha Mature won the holiday a few weeks ago to Rhodes. She's off to Rhodes, and she lives in Chiswick in London. And tonight, you could be on your way to Mallorca if you can answer this question. On average, how many pints of semen... On average, how many pints of semen will a man ejaculate during his lifetime? Is it A, 16 pints, B, 36 pints, or C, 80 pints? The number to ring, 0891, if we're still on the air, 900 007, and that number is open until midnight. that was the Mansfield rotation shot there, which is nice. You want to do it? Just reverse it around very quickly. Reverse it around, just to show everybody at home. Very good. Whack up. There we are. I'll tell you why we do that. Come back again. Come back again. The reason we do that is that we haven't got the budget to have all the technology that does that when you press a button, and nobody can use it upstairs anyway. So that's why we do it. I'm very good at this too. Do you want to see the whole of my work? Michael would like to see. Would you like to see this waistcoat? Is it nice? Do you think that's... It is very nice, isn't it? Very, very lovely waistcoat. It's... applause for a waistcoat, please. Excuse me, just a minute. Hang on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Did we have a warm-up artist who showed you what to do?
No, you said you were going to do it.
I want to know. You and me are going to do it later. But, I mean, did we have an audience that... did you know... OK, because basically, right, you... All right, can we get a shot here? You're the most miserable-looking prat I've seen for ages. All right? That's better. Now, that's lovely, OK? And over here, you know, I know that you probably have fleas. We all have fleas, but you've been scratching ever since we went on. Do you understand that? It is not nice, because your mum may be watching at home, all right? And it's embarrassing. Now you're here to talk about masturbation, and we want to treat it seriously, don't we? OK? And I don't know what to say to you. I thought you were Cher, but obviously not, are you? No? That's good.
No.
OK, so you're all right now, aren't you?
I'm fine.
You're sure? Fine. So a little more enthusiasm, and just up here, have you got any identification?
No, afraid not.
Are you sure you're old enough to be in the audience?
I think so. Is it 14?
No, it's not 14. Who checked the audience? She said to me earlier, I'm 24. Never mind. Please would you welcome my first guest, Margaret Ramage. Margaret, thank you for coming. Way! Now, Margaret is an experienced psychosexual counsellor and therapist. She's an admirer of Betty Dodson, whose quote, and we showed you a little bit of this self-loving video, there it is, when we came on. That first clip was all we really could show you. But Margaret, we said, would you like to come and talk about it? Margaret took it home, and she sat through 2 hours. And Margaret, tell me about it, please.
Well, what would you think if you went to a group and the person running it opened the door in the nude?
I'd probably turn around, go back in my car and drive off. But that's just me, because I'm a little
But if
shy.
you were expecting to have to take your own clothes off
Yes.
at the group, then you might not be too shocked.
No.
OK. But if you weren't warned about what was going to happen on the video, you might be a bit startled at what you were going to see.
Which was, yes.
Well, what we see in the video is a group of women, and we've all seen them sitting cross-legged in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
But during the video, they show one another their sexual parts. And if you have a very large screen with very bright colour on it...
Which you did.
Well, yes.
OK, fine, yes. Yeah.
Yes. And then after a coffee break and other things, they use these vibrators, which are battery-operated. And one of the bits that I particularly enjoyed, really, was when they were instructed to do particular muscle exercises using the vibrators.
Yeah.
We're a little bit shy about vibrators in this country. I'm never quite sure why.
Well, are they could they be dangerous? Are they?
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think
fine.
I mean, it's not advisable to use them in the bath, but then you wouldn't, would you?
Well, no, I wouldn't.
No.
I certainly wouldn't.
No, they're not dangerous or harmful. But
Margaret, we're having a little joke about this. There's some very nervous tittering in the audience. There's one guy... And it does have a fairly serious side, this, actually. We talk
indeed.
about the problems of sexually transmitted diseases.
Mm-hmm.
We all know about AIDS. We don't have to talk about that. We know the problems there are. We know the problems of people having many partners. Masturbation is something that is, contrary to a lot of people's opinions, completely free of any sort of disease, I think, at the moment, isn't it?
yes, it is.
Unless your vibrator wasn't washed.
Well, that's... Yeah, I think it's pretty free of any sort of disease, yes. Yes.
Does it provide us with something that is useful in our life?
Oh, it most certainly does, yes. Do you know, every time a man ejaculates or a woman orgasms, there's a little surge of hormone, which does us good.
Now, do more men than women masturbate, or don't women masturbate at all? I mean, a lot of women never talk about... Sorry. They do. Some do.
Yes, 60% do it quite a lot.
Really?
Yes.
Are men? All
Lots
of them?
and lot. Well, you can't say everybody, but you could say 95%, and some don't notice. but there There may be some people who don't, actually. Genuinely, not everybody masturbates, and it's unfair to assume that they do, because they don't. They prefer not to, and that's fine.
If they prefer not to because they think that they may go blind, or they think that they may have other... And some people do think this, you
Some
know,
people
and
do
they
think
think that the church will be very cross with them if they follow a religion and sort of is not into that sort of thing. They don't do it. Would they be more relaxed? Would they be more unwound if they did?
Oh, I think that would be... That's not necessarily so, no. People have other ways of relaxing. It's a very good way of relaxing, but there are plenty of other ways.
This video, though, was trying to encourage more women to do it, and to do it in... I wouldn't be happy sitting around with a bunch of other men, I have to tell you, doing it.
Well, she
in
ran
fact, I
groups
probably
for
wouldn't be
men.
able to. Did she?
Oh, yes.
Ah, as a stimulation to the other women, or not?
No, no, just as out of interest and as a help, and they were quite successful.
Really?
Yes. But that was America, remember. This is Great Britain.
Yeah.
And it's a different culture here, and things don't really translate across the Atlantic that well. I mean, there's a sort of belief here that anything that happens in America is going to happen here in a few years, and I don't think that's necessarily true.
So, I mean, if you are quite a fan of Betty's, aren't you?
I'm a fan of her books. I'm quite a fan of the video, but not only in specific circumstances and if requested and with supervision.
A lot of men are going to go out and buy this as an aid to masturbation, aren't they? I mean, that's how it's going to sell.
I would be surprised if they did, actually.
Really?
Yes, it's presented as educational and informative, not as tittillating. And my own experience watching it was that it wasn't titillating. But it was educational and it was informative, and I certainly learnt something.
As a psychosexual counsellor and therapist, though, your view is that masturbation is of benefit.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Margaret Ramage, thank you. Hang on, just a minute. Hey, stop. Not during the programme, please. I have never seen such a nervous audience in my life. Because, of course, they didn't know that was the topic tonight, and now every time we get a shot of the audience, everybody at home who knows them is going to say, I know what you get up to. Look at those faces. Look at that bishop. He's not amused at all. Really. By the way, in case, you know, some of you are getting upset about us having a bishop on here, we don't know what church he belongs to or what sort of religion he follows. He's just said he didn't agree with it, and so we said we needed somebody of a dissenting voice to sit in the audience. And next to Lindsay Drew. What a place to sit. Woo! Very nice indeed. And Lindy, of course, has been the object of... Well, we'll talk about that later. Please, now would you welcome some music? This is great. You are really going to enjoy this. We think we have found now one of the stars of tomorrow. Please, would you welcome Singing Touch? Please, Mr. Bing Abrahams.
From the first time that I ever heard you calling, every word you ever said to me was true. I could never stop myself from playing this game. Am I to blame for all the crazy things we do? Jesus can't control if you want them to. Nothing left to do, 'cause all I want is you. One night stand, yeah. Come and take my hand. Can't you see I always be there when you call on me? Come next to me, got your touch, got feeling. Come next to me, got your touch, got feeling. Come next to me, got your touch, got feeling. Come next to me, got your touch, got feeling. Let's go. So baby, let me touch you when I want to. Wanna feel your body lose control. I can move, I'm paralyzed when I'm without you. I'm going insane. I'm going crazy over you. Dreams can't control if you want them to. Nothing left to do, 'cause all I want is you. One night stand, yeah. Come and take my hand. Can't you see I always be there when
Bing Abrahams will be back a little later on in the programme, but take it from us, I think he is going to be terrific. Warm in the house tonight. Very warm in the house tonight. OK? Yes. You don't frighten me. OK, the competition. Woo! Before we go to the commercial break, the competition, which I have down here, where you could win a wonderful holiday. Everybody can do this except you in the audience. What a shame. OK. You can win a wonderful week for 2 people in Mallorca. All you have to do is ring the telephone number on the screen, which will come up in a moment, 0891 900 007, and answer this simple question. This simple, particularly simple question. Gary, may I say, this is a very good. He's got right into the heart of solo sex. Move this way, Gary. Right into the heart of solo sex tonight. Very good. Anyway, the question, on average, how many pints of semen, you follow me? On average, how many pints of semen will... Let's see, catch them all running around. How many pints of semen will a man ejaculate during his life? I do apologise that this is a little sexist, this question, but I couldn't think of it. Is it very, very difficult? So that's the question. A, 16 pints, B, 36 pints, or C, 80 pints, and it's a lot less than I thought, I must admit. We're back in a couple of moments after the break. Thank you. Right. That's enough. On your chair, please. Goodness sake, I know you're getting excited, but try and control yourself. You've had to rush outside twice in the break. Are the camera... Are you in the choreography of this?
No.
Oh, you're not?
No.
OK, I just wondered. You were giving them some sort of helping hand. Is there nothing? No, fine. OK, no, please, it's fine, right, we're talking about solo sex, masturbation, and most of us do it. 60% of women do it, and quite a lot of men do it. And so we thought a little titillation would not go amiss on the programme tonight. So please, would you welcome the Ann Summers Experience? Yes! Right, well, there we are. That's experience. And I thought we had a couple of guys in there, but they never got on to shot. But never mind. Right. Sorry about that, really.
Shame, really.
Yeah, well, I wasn't in the slightest bit concerned myself, but there we are. So tough. Right. For those of you at home who are interested in the technical side of television, that last feature was completely shot on handheld. Cameras, shot on handheld camera. It's OK, I know it was funny, but you can shut up now, thank you very much indeed. Light. Now, light time for Gary Jacobs. Yay! Now, thank you. We didn't last week manage to get to any letters. We were talking about the, we were talking about the legal system, but And I know you don't want to be involved in masturbation.
Not on camera.
No. And I'm sure that you probably
Well, I don't know
defended
anyone
quite a lot
who
of people
didn't
who...
do it.
Yes. Oh, you don't?
Yeah. No.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, I've had clients do it. I've once had a client who performed oral
Yeah,
masturbation.
no, I don't want to know about that.
Don't
Get
know
back
about
into the letters. You told me that earlier, and I said, no, you
yes,
can't
she
tell
bit
that.
the end off.
Yes, I know
She
you...
was
yeah.
found over for a year, as long as you kept the peace. Yeah.
Yes.
Good one, that. Right. We've
You'll
got
notice nobody laughed, don't
Of
you?
course
Right,
not.
okay.
They're too slow, aren't they? Too slow.
No, they laughed when I said, notice nobody laughed.
Thank you, James. That was a good joke.
Yes.
Another time.
Right.
Right, we've had, at last, a letter praising solicitors, other than me. We get a few of those, of course.
That is surprising.
This lady lost her father, thank you very much,
Okay.
shortly after losing her mother. When the mother died, they had to go through the performance of dealing with the estate themselves, up and down the high roads to all the building societies, banks and stockbrokers and everybody else. Then they told the father, before you die, please make a will. He did. They paid a solicitor £40, and they say, I ask you, Mr. Jacobs, how many pints of beer or cigarettes or restaurant meals would 40 quid cost? And actually, it would cost 40 quid, of course. But the truth is, they say that for £40, they saved themselves hundreds of hours of problems because the will went through absolutely perfectly. We have a wonderful letter here. So it just shows you, if you're going to die, make a will.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're going to live, make a will. And go and see a solicitor. It's the cheapest thing you'll ever do and the best value.
Well, I mean, it only sorts the people who are left after you, and really you couldn't give a stuff, could you?
Well,
I
most
mean, why
people
bother
could, James,
to make a will?
James, you may live your life trying to upset people, but most people try to die making everybody else happy. Right, now, this one I've got to get to. Don't mean it. Well, maybe I do. No,
you nearly got applause for that too.
Yes,
Right, okay,
yes.
fine.
This one's funny and sad at the same time. Somebody wrote off to an advertisement that said, send me £12.95 and £1.50. I will send you a way to make a fortune on a video. Money back guarantee. And it was a video showing them how to clean windows. It was telling them to go out and become a window cleaner. The only thing was that this person, for various reasons, couldn't climb ladders and asked...
Is this are you trying to get
for real.
laughs?
Hold on,
right,
this
fine.
is for real. And they asked for their money back. And what these people said was, we do not ordinarily refund to members claiming ill health or impaired mobility, as reasonable good health is a very clearly stated prerequisite for the operation of the business.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think it is. And I think anyone who sends off for something that requires you to climb ladders, who can't climb ladders, where they give you a full money back guarantee, should sue them and get their money back. And do let us know how they get on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fantastically funny Mr. Gary Jacobs! Did you heckle?
Me?
Did you?
No, I cheered my
It's
heart
okay.
out.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Right, okay. It's your brother beside you.
But nothing to do with
Right.
me. Never met.
Okay, now, back over here. This is the address up here. Whale on MMTV. MMTV, 5 to 7 Carnaby Street, London, etc., etc. If you have a problem for Gary Jacobs, or you'd like to be in the audience, if you wanted to come and talk about masturbation, I'm afraid we've done that tonight, so maybe something else, that'll be okay. You notice the way he's looking, just a little look, he's we caught you there, don't do it again, okay? Now, please would you welcome Heidi Hannant. Is that right, Heidi? Thank you very much indeed. Heidi has come to demonstrate. Danielle, aren't you here doing this?
Yes, I am.
I know. Well, please, for goodness sake. Right. She's here just to help out. Okay. Now, you have brought some stuff from, I think Ann Summers was one of the first sort of sexual shops. Although we're talking in slightly, you know, I mean, I get rather embarrassed, and particularly with him sitting next to you. But it is, you've helped, some people say, quite a lot of people's sex lives, haven't you?
Well, yes, we sell it to be used normally in a loving environment, you know,
Yeah.
with a partner. But obviously, some people do use them on their own.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
And
no.
you brought some of the things that...
A selection, that's
you know.
right.
A lot of these on the table here look, and I mean, I don't want to touch any of them, Danny, but I mean, pick anyone you like. Okay. Probably not. They all look, the things you brought for men, I mean, it doesn't seem to be, oh no, these are for women. I mean,
Women,
all for
that's
women, but there doesn't seem much for men.
Well, there are things for men as
Sorry,
well.
I
There are
just...
things for men as well. I've actually got a catalogue, if you like, I'll leave it for you.
Oh, fine, thank you very
so
much.
You can have
Yes.
a look through
Oh, good.
There are
I'd like
things
that.
for men as well, but obviously
Yes.
the ladies that we have parties which are for ladies only. So the majority of the products that I would bring along would be at my party, would be the things that ladies would buy. So.
Now, although we heard earlier, Margaret was telling us that about 60% of women only masturbate, a lot of these things obviously are for women.
Yes.
So maybe, I wonder if maybe more people do than that.
I think I've found that through the parties that women are incredibly funny when they're allowed to be, and they get sort of get together with women. It's a safe environment. They actually open up and say, "Well, yes, I do, and this is good." And that's why you get some that sort of are for beginners, like the hummingbird one, which is there.
Danny,
that's that one.
Model, thank you.
And that's sort of middle of the range. It's not too big, and it's a great one for beginners if you're starting out. You
and
know,
particularly
so it's a good
because
one to
I always
start.
find, and this is. The interesting thing with this is, of course, it is shaped to the contours of your neck. Really, isn't
right,
it?
Yes. It relieves a lot of stress. You feel a lot better after using this, obviously. So that's the idea. Then, if you want to be a bit more discreet, you've got something like the Lady's Secret, you see, and this is...
I thought that was perfume.
Yes, everyone does. Isn't it
Yes,
great?
yes.
It's your handbag-sized travel companion, you see.
Yes.
And inside we have a little surprise for you.
Uh-huh. Oh, and it's colour
There we go.
coordinated.
That's right.
Lovely.
It's rather good, isn't it?
Yes. Very
If
nice.
you don't turn it off... It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yes.
The only thing is, if you don't turn it off before putting it back, it doesn't remain a secret very long. So
No,
turn
sorry,
it off first.
yeah,
It can be muffled.
It can.
Yes.
These are rather nice. Oh, this is, what, has
This
this
is
got
for
batteries?
the Emperor. This is the control for the Emperor. This actually, you whoop it onto a flat surface. It's got a suction pad. I've been told by customers that sort of glass doors are quite good, and bathroom tiles. There you go.
I see.
And your hands are free to sort of operate the remote control and do some knitting or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's just the control for you. Exactly.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
He does have a little bag, that's right.
Right, yes. Anyway, fine, yeah. These little things here, what are
These are
these?
sensible underwear for chaps, you see. Just,
Right.
you know, the ladies who like to see the chaps dress up. And what happens is, obviously, the balls go in the bottom and the penis will go in the top.
I see.
And you're hoping to the back of his throat
We like
towards
to
the
use
end
the
of
word
the...
testicles
Oh,
on
sorry,
this
the
programme,
testicle. The testicles go in the bottom.
fine.
And you sort of head for bed when you can see the red. And if he goes like that, you rush, obviously.
Yes,
You know, so
yes.
It's called a snapper pouch. If that's too small, we have the stub undies, which are...
I don't think there's... yes, Michael said I think he's seen more than enough of this. Heidi, thank you. You know, because some people probably get very bored with this at home and not like it at all.
Sure. Well, I don't know. There's quite a lot
Heidi,
to choose from.
thank you very much indeed. And Danny, I think you've made that come alive for us. You've made that come alive for us. Michelle, is he okay?
He looks okay. Do you think he looks okay?
Well, I think fine, but I just wonder he's all right. He's not getting
I
overexcited.
think he's a bit too high fashion for this show.
Okay, fine. Yes, but I don't want him to get too excited.
No, he's not getting
No, that's okay. He's very excited, Michael. Very. Oh, he's under there. Oh, my golly.
He's ready and waiting.
He's ready and waiting, Michael. Ready and waiting. What should we do next? I think we'll have some more music. Should we have some more? Bing was good, wasn't he? Would you like some more music from Bing? Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, with a man on a mission. Please welcome, for the second time on the show. And he's got the single out now, so go out and get it. This is the new single from Bing Abrahams, Man on a Mission.
Another day and one more chance to prove my love to you. I'm gonna wind you down, you take you guessing and spend good money too. Come on, baby, what's it to you? Don't you want a little wild romance? I ain't asking for the world, mama, please give me one more chance. Oh, baby, I'm a man on a mission. I give you soul and body to love your body tonight. Let me change your mind. Oh, baby, I'm a man on a mission. You got to give me some, 'cause you make me come alive. You got to give me some, 'cause you make me come alive. Who's this guy who's making love to you? What's he got to give? It's a crying shame, but I ain't weeping, 'cause I got to think positive. Oh, baby, I'm a man on a if you change your mind, have mercy on this heart of mine. Oh, my little darling, can't you see I'm begging? Oh, baby, I'm a man on a mission. I give you soul and body to love your body tonight. Let me change your mind. Oh, baby, I'm a man on a mission. You got to give me some, 'cause you make me come alive. You got to give me some, 'cause you make me come alive. Me want don't you like me, don't be to me majesty. Like a mouse fan a $1 bread, me say. Me want give you guys sexual healing. Like a flash and a breeze now blow. Girl, me come cry out for you. Hear me, baby, me's a big mission, man. Oh, if you change your mind, have mercy on this heart of mine. Oh, my little darling, can't you see I'm begging? Me want give you a sexual healing. Sexual healing, girl. Because, oh, baby, I'm a man on a mission. I give you soul and body to love your body tonight. Let me change your mind. Oh, baby, I'm a man on a mission. You got to give me some, 'cause you make me come alive. You got to give me some, 'cause you make me come alive. Me want don't you like me, don't be to me majesty. Like a mouse man a $1 bread, me say. Me want give you a sexual healing. Like a flash and a breeze now blow. Girl, me come cry out for you. Hear me, baby, me's a big mission, man. You got to hear me, baby. Bingo! Girl, you make me come alive, you know.
Yes, boss!
Fantastic. Thanks very much indeed. King Abraham, terrific. Man with a mission, man on a mission. It's out in the shops at the moment. It must be a huge hit, guys. That's great. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you. Oh, and lady as well. And in between as well. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And in between, right here. Before we take the break, put the competition on the screen so I can control myself. OK, on average, how many pints of semen, or perhaps men in the air force? No, that's not funny. How many pints of semen will a man ejaculate during his lifetime? 16 pints, 36 pints, or 80 pints? Ring us any time between now and midnight on Sunday on 0891 900 007, and you could win a holiday for two people on the beautifully idyllic island of Mallorca. Now, dear viewer, Experience will be back, and you'll find out why this talks to me a little later on as well, and why I have two very lovely ladies and a very lovely gentleman sitting here. We are talking about solo sex tonight, but we thought right in this, no programme would be complete on the subject without Mr. Alan Sivrite. He's here tonight to do the entire opera La Traviata in around about 3 minutes. So please welcome High Culture, Mr. Alan Sivrite. Yes!
La Traviata is one of the world's favourite operas. Set in Paris, it tells the story of the Lady of the Camellias, Violetta, as she was known to by her friends. She's giving a grand party. She's very young, she's very beautiful, but she is a kept woman by a rich man, and she's suffering from tuberculosis. In the first act, she meets Alfred, and it is very clear that he's been in love with her for weeks and months. By the end of Act 1, she too has fallen in love with him, but she feels deeply lonely. She knows that she's basically an abandoned woman in Paris, and that people and men only want her because she is amusing and beautiful. She and Alfred run away to the country together and are living idyllically for a summer. But one afternoon, when Alfred finds out how much money that she has actually been spending through her maid, he rushes back to Paris because he feels that he must do something about it. An elderly man arrives on the scene and at first attacks Violetta and says, "How dare you live with my son who is keeping you?" Well, you see all the dignity in the young and beautiful girl when she points out that it isn't true. It is not true, but that for the first time in her life, she has known and has felt love. He doesn't really believe her for some time, and he explains that he's come to ask her to give Alfred up because his daughter cannot get married due to the fact that this is a great public scandal hanging over the family. Violetta says that she does not have long to live. Again, he hardly believes her, until she says, "But embrace me as a daughter. However, I give my promise, but you will not tell Alfred until I am dead." He said, "You'll live many years." Well, Alfred comes back. She weeps and tells him to stay there, but always to remember her amongst the flowers. She leaves him. His father arrives, and there is a note saying that "I've left you, Alfred." Alfredo, as he's called in Italian. Well, the young man is furious. He realizes that she's gone to a party in Paris of a friend of hers, a gambling party. He follows her there and publicly insults her. In front of all her friends, he says to her, "So you love the Baron, do you? Right." Well, of course, she does it because she's trying to save him. He insults her by throwing money all over and saying, "This is the woman who's kept me for a summer and I'm repaying her." The last act, she is dying, and eventually he's been told the truth. He finds out, he comes back, but of course it is too late. She cries out, "Oh dear God, I'm too young to die." But then she says to him calmly, "One day you will marry, but remember me and tell the girl who's pure about me." At that moment she says, "I'm reborn. Ridashi, I'm reborn." Suddenly she feels as if she's alive. Of course, it is well known that in this terrible illness, at the moment before death, as she rises up and collapses, Alfred is heartbroken, and the Lady of the Camellias has gone forever.
Wasn't that beautiful?
It's a great story, James.
That was beautiful, Alan. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Has anybody got a man-sized tissue?
There's always one. Never mind, Alan, that was lovely. In the words of Oscar Wilde...
Yes, because you're doing this programme, always remember that Oscar Wilde once said, "To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance."
So true.
Good night,
so
James.
True. Thank you very much indeed. Yay! I was moved. Would you please welcome now Lindsay Drew. Lindsay, of course, we saw the other day with the photograph. That's Lindsay and me. Lindsay getting her leg over. And Maxine Page is here. Maxine is the editor of New Talent, which is nothing to be proud of, I don't think. And Richard, one of the Dream Boys, is here. Now, all three of you, Lindsay now and Richard, and you in your time before you became editor, because you don't take your clothes off now, do you?
That's right.
Lindsay, you still do.
Yes.
Occasionally. Not often
yes,
now.
Occasionally.
And Richard, you're just beginning.
Yes, just beginning.
Yeah. So all three have agreed to come and talk about self-sex, solo sex, whichever way you like to look at it. First of all, Lindsay, I mean, a lot of what you've done, I mean, people watch the sort of things you've done and read the magazines that you've done purely to help with solo sex, don't they?
Yes, I mean, people watch my videos or they look at the magazines that I edit and masturbate, yes. I mean, it's their dicks, and if they want to play with them and look at pictures of me, that's fine by me, actually.
That doesn't sort of, what do you mind,
No.
you'll go out?
I mean, I look at videos and masturbate, so, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pleasure, and it's something that we all can have, and I think we all should have.
You haven't had any of these nasty sort of things that people are told, particularly girls are told, aren't they, at a young age, that if they did that?
Oh,
sort
don't touch it, you know,
Yes.
and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing. No, not really, no. I mean, I don't discuss masturbation with my mother particularly, but
nor should you.
It's something she's never told me not to do, or anything like that.
Yeah, and you feel healthy about that, yeah.
I mean, the nice thing with women, when they masturbate, I mean, we can carry on masturbating. We can come 3 or 4 times. Usually, with a man, they masturbate, I would imagine, and come, and then that's the end of it, you know.
Richard, it is, isn't it? It's it.
Well, for some people.
Yeah, yeah. Do you mind women looking at you purely as an aid to masturbation, a sex object, that reading some of these magazines with men? Do you mind that? I mean, do you know that that's why some people buy those magazines and come to see those shows that you do?
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I suppose everyone has their fantasies, and some watch movies or go to see shows. I'm sure they do.
You're not embarrassed?
Not at all.
No. Now, of course, Maxine, I mean, you are an editor of this... it's taken readers' wives to a new dimension, hasn't it, really?
Not really, no, because they're all young models, they're all starting out. We had one recently who went on to become the cover girl on Penthouse magazine, a young nurse. She had a lot of PR regarding that. It was in The Sun and all the other newspapers. And basically, it's a way for young models to start out and go on from there to other things.
Possibly, but I mean, a lot of these women have got bruises on them. I've had a look at it. I mean, it's, you know, it's
I haven't
not
looked
nice.
that closely, actually,
Have
James.
you not?
You obviously have studied this at length.
Yeah, well, they've got rough elbows. I won't show any pictures here. And things like, you know, it's not nice to see rough elbows, is it? And stuff like that. Do you mind that this is basically, I mean, these sort of magazines sell so that we can indulge more pleasurably in solo sex?
I think that's great. I think that's a really, really healthy thing to do, and everyone should enjoy sex, and why not?
You don't think that people, if they thought about it more seriously, some of the girls who appear in these magazines wouldn't do it? They'd think, oh no, I'm not having anything to do with
They're
that.
getting paid for it, they enjoy doing what they're doing, they're being published, they enjoy their work. I know when I used to do that type of modelling, I actually enjoyed doing it, I got paid good money for it, and I enjoyed it, I wasn't being exploited.
When I first worked for a men's magazine, I remember back the 5th letter I ever got. I sat there.
You used to do the letters page, didn't you?
Yes, I do a letters page in Eros magazine.
Yeah.
I sat there reading back my 6th letter I ever read, and the guy got to page 3, and suddenly I realised, he said, no, all of a sudden, and then I realised why page 3 and 4 wouldn't come apart, you know. And that shocked me a little bit then, but you know. It's life, it's fun, who cares?
It shocked you, Lindsay. I don't believe
it
a
shocked
word.
me a little bit.
It
We are going back 10 years then, I was shocked then, yes.
What, I mean, do you get to, I don't know, I mean, masturbation presumably is the one form of sex you can indulge in or on?
And in the audience, people were doing it just now, actually. The bishop in particular.
I hope not.
He was getting very excited.
Talking about, anyway, no. Please, I don't want any more of that smiling either. Goodness sake, control yourself. Do you think that something perhaps then there should be more? I mean, do you think that these sort of magazines you don't see, we have this discussion from time to time, that maybe this is degrading to the people who do it? I mean, Richard, I was looking through a magazine here with pictures of, not you in it particularly, but guys, no clothes on, in these sort of cheesecake poses and things like that. And you're thinking, well, OK, if I had the body, maybe I'd do it. And then you think, well, you know, what if your mum sees it?
Well, it depends how she feels, you know. She might look at an art form or a form of modelling, you know. Depends on how the pictures are taken. If it's done like in a sleazy kind of way, or it could be taken in an art form.
You mean it can be done in a non-sleazy type of way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
That's
sex
winding
has to
you
be
up.
sleazy,
No,
does
yeah.
it? I mean, when I was last time I did Penthouse, you know, I was on the cover of Penthouse, and I said to Mum, best not to look at the pictures, you know. And she went in the newsagent, had a little look at them because they were very nice and they were
Yeah.
But I didn't want her to buy it and take it home and look at it again, particularly, you know. But I mean, she looked at them, I thought they were, you know, it's just.
How long will you go on doing this, Richard? I mean, will you sort of give up? I was talking to one guy from one of these groups that came on once. He said, yes, well, he said, I've got a degree in banking as well, he said, and I shall be going back to that when my body begins to drop a little bit.
Well, I'm hoping that because you've got a lot of opportunities to do modelling and other TV work, so maybe I'll branch out in a few years. And
I mean, who knows, you could end up as the next Arnold Schwarzenegger.
well, you never know.
Couldn't
Maybe.
you?
Or even take your place.
You could even take my place. Unlikely. But anyway, you could try. Lindsay, do you think, will you get to a certain, because Maxine has given up.
Adrian, I'll
I mean,
stop taking my
will you
clothes
already?
off.
And,
I don't do it very often. I mean, I don't take my clothes off very often. People keep asking me to, and I think, oh, God, I'm 36 now. I'm not taking them off anymore. People
you were
still want me
36 a
to.
few years ago.
No, I'm not. I am 36.
Lindsay get offered more money than me.
No, but people still want me to. I don't know why. But then why do people stop being sensual? Why do people stop when they get to, you know, the 30-something? Why should they stop? I mean, we don't stop having sex in our 30s, you know.
Yeah.
All right, then. You told me not to.
Lindsay, just keep them. Lindsay.
Sorry.
Okay, if it makes you feel better. I actually have to just show you this before we move on. I beg your pardon. Oh, good. This.
You recorded that as your voiceover in there.
Well, listen, if you haven't got the body for it, you might as well do it if you've got the voice for it. I beg your pardon, Michael? I've just got 30 seconds to get through it. I've almost finished. I'll just show you this. This is a very interesting... It's like a telephone. Oh, God. Yes, and I mean, you can't... There's
We'll do the female version. Oh, yeah, James. Oh, do it to me.
James,
I love it. Just that. That's the way.
Cut.
Show it in.
Those are those funny phone calls that have been coming from the palace. Thank you very much indeed. Lindsay, Drew, Maxine, Paige and Richard. Thank you. Now welcome tonight's Experience. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. We will be back next week with an entirely new topic, but I think we should leave them with the rest of Experience tonight. So if we cut back to that, join us again. Thank you very much indeed. What did you say? I don't want to know. I don't want to go around there and dance with them because, you know...
You look great, James.
What? No, this is a better shot. This is a much better shot. What? It reminds me of somebody we know, isn't it? Now, Michael, you can't talk to me this time because I really don't know what we're doing. I mean, he wants me to have the camera, and I can't take the camera with me. I mean, it's the end of the. Hang on. That's what.